I'm Scott from Reno, Nevada, and I'm a fan of the Barclays Premier League. And I support West Ham United. Come on, you Irons! I'm forever blowing bubbles, pretty bubbles in the air. Fortune's always hiding. I've looked everywhere. For fun, I like to play with my daughter and run. Became a fan of the Premier League because, well, I've played soccer my entire life, and I've coached soccer for a vast majority of my life. But it really came around in the 90s when I was able to visit West Ham and just see everything about the club. In 2010, I traveled to England with a buddy of mine, and we went to Liverpool to see West Ham play at Everton to a 2-2 draw. And actually watched Tim Howard make a great save on a PK. Next weekend we went to Bowling and we saw West Ham beat Sunderland 1-0, and I won £40 betting on the goal scorer for the game. In 2017, my wife and I went to London again, and I got to see the new stadium, the London Stadium, and I watched West Ham play Man United and lose 2-0.
Meet Embry. Her daddy's pretty sure she's going to be a Hammers fan. What do you think about that, Embry? Well, there's no more ringing endorsement than that.
There are a lot of Premier League fans in America, and for that I'm grateful because it just continues to grow and grow, and you find more and more people that love the game and love the game. Americans don't understand the concept of neighborhood teams, meaning stadiums that have been built in neighborhoods and the team represents the neighborhood. People don't drive to Premier League games. Americans are used to driving to stadiums that are outside of cities, and everybody drives there, everybody tailgates, and they hang out. But it's a bigger event for the neighborhoods when games are played. When you're walking to a game and you can be the only person on the road, and as you get closer and closer to the stadium, people just start pouring out of their houses and they're just going into the game. And it's a concept Americans don't get, the concept of the neighborhood team, and the whole neighborhood is just behind that team. Americans also don't understand relegation. And relegation is the most confusing thing to Americans because they assume that when you're in the top level, you should always be in the top level. I'm sure people understand why I'm a fan because of all the time I've spent in the game. I think that people don't understand the lengths I go to for games, meaning that before we make plans for vacations and before we accept invitations to weddings and children's birthdays, that the Premier League calendar is always consulted in an effort to avoid Dad being upset because he's missing any portion of his game. For a normal game day, the baby and I get up and we make my coffee and we sit in the chair and we watch the match and we sing Forever Blowing Bubbles together, and while watching the match I attempt to censor myself in my language while my wife will actively censor if I slip. Shh, match starts at 4:30 in the morning, so we have to be really quiet. United. So a few must-haves for every Premier League fan are the book bag, except traveling with the West Ham book bag internationally can be problematic due to the movie Green Street Hooligans. Match day during the week. As a teacher, you gotta have the West Ham tie and the West Ham belt. Without those, you can't watch the matches. So like any other sports fan, we have the front door mat, we have my wife's mat over here, we're not going to talk about it, and we have the kind-eyed gnome. And taking it to the next level, the Nevada license plate, West Ham United FC.
Come on, you irons!
Back here with Embry again. Shh, don't tell Daddy.